What's good, everybody? Valley here once again. Welcome back to the Messy Workbench. Sorry for that 2-week or so hiatus. I've been dealing with some stuff. Well, that's beside the point because we got this thing that is entirely too large to fit in frame. This is the box of the Rival Edge Jupiter XIX 1000. XIX meaning 19, 1000 being the denotation for the 10-round capacity that this blaster has. And yes, it is a bolt-action rival blaster, but that's enough looking at the box. You know, it's a box, it's big because it's a big blaster. Shows you what the thing has, and has the hole for the single rival ball.
My penis can only get so erect.
Yeet! That could have gone better. But yeah. Here is the blaster. This is a quite nice design for a rival blaster. I think it is quite interesting. And yes, it comes in that nice lime green that all the Rival Edge stuff comes in now. The Rival Edge line is, of course, the sort of accuracy-based sort of range for rival blasters these days. And I think the green is quite nice, being that's brought over from the Modulus series. What you get in the box is this thing, which is just the blaster itself, bolt action, with the sort of aftermarket style trigger, a bipod with a quick release locking mechanism, as well as the telescoping legs. No spring loaded, just the button spring loaded, but you do have to manually retract them. They fold either way. You can put this bipod on either way, it's all up to you. And I think it's a nice little addition for sort of the target shooting series that the Rival Edge line is. You also get 10 of these lime green rival balls, which is quite nice as well. And you also get the pieces for the audio reactive target, which this thing is a nice little addition. I do wish they could have just released this as a separate object with maybe a refill pack or something, or maybe a sort of rival scope, if you will, because I don't think we've had a rival scope except for the red dot sight. But yes, it is just a pivoting weighted target that has a little washer here that hits a bit of metal here, and when you hit it, it goes ding. Ding. Yes, it is a nice little addition. I might end up painting this up for some sort of game mode or something. But yeah, I'm gonna set this off to the side now. Ding. And overall, it is a nice size. Going to the grip, it is nice and large, fairly rounded and everything, not a sort of extreme angle like the long shot or whatever it is. Moving on to the buttstock, this cheek rest here is actually rubber, or a rubberized plastic, but I'm pretty sure it's just a straight up rubber, a very hard rubber. Maybe with a plastic core, I don't know, I have not yet taken this thing apart. Back here is a monopod that clicks out a few times, and is indeed spring-loaded. Just like that. Above the grip is the safety. Only on one side, so, you know, it might be okay for lefties. Actually, it's better for lefties because you can hit it with your thumb. But yes. Bolt handle. Works like any other sort of bolt action rifle if you've used something like, say, the Busby Hawk or something like that, or even real steel, but you know, I've never actually used a real steel bolt-action rifle because I don't have access to that sort of thing. But yeah, lift handle up, pull it back, and you bring it forward. You don't have to fold it down, but it's good for the sort of feel and look of it. It's part of the whole fantasy of the sort of bolt-action feel. You've got the elevated rail, which is nice for some sort of optic, which I might end up printing up something, or maybe even just mounting a Nerf optic onto it, because the night vision scope actually looks pretty neat on here. It'd have to be sort of painted up to match, and I'd probably have to shave off these rear iron sights, but I think that is a worthy sort of sacrifice for having a nice full tactical rail, which, you know, since it's a Nerf on a rival attachment, the profile is the same, but the fact that it has deep grooves, sort of like Picatinny, means that any sort of object you put on here will be clamped on there pretty well. It holds on decently well, but you know, if you give it a good enough jostle, it will pop off. So if you're going to be putting on something on here, you might want to put something that is more sort of designed to clamp more securely onto this rail, maybe sort of like the bipod here, which, you know, you could put up on here if you wanted to shoot upside down. I don't know. Yeah. And that quick release on that attachment is quite handy. Moving up to the front, you got your loading port, which basically this is a giant Chronos. It's just a, well, it's actually just a double capacity Chronos, if you think about it that way. Oh, it is primed. Prime it back. You take your rival balls, which, be careful with your knives, kids. I have 9 in here. I lost the 10th ball somewhere. But yes, it just loads in quite easily. And I've actually had this for a few days now. I used it at the war yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. And I did have a little bit of trouble with sometimes the balls going forward or backwards when I was loading, so it would kind of jam them up whenever I was loading. Though, if it jammed forward, it made it sort of shotgun with the next shot. But yeah, there you go, 9. And you can see it in that nice little clear window that is visible on both sides, which this panel right here would be great for LED work or any sort of light work, you know. You can have even a display here. But yeah, you prime it forward. I will power up my chronograph right here. And I will fire. I'll fire off into the distance so I don't have a ricochet. And instantly 100 FPS. Good start here, folks. 96.4. 97. And just to prove that you don't need the bolt handle to be folded down to fire, this one will probably end up scraping the side of the chronograph a little bit. Oh, there you go, 101. It didn't scrape. But it is kind of nice for the feel of the blaster to fold it down. 98.3. 95.1. That one might have scraped, but I cannot be sure. Rival balls are fairly inconsistent, at least the Hasbro ones are. Well, actually, in general. 95.1. Let's see here, we got 2 more shots from the looks of it. 93.8. And 96.7, and we are out. And yeah, this thing is quite comfy to shoulder. I mean, it's a nice size for a teenager to adult, especially with that nice big grip in there. One thing about this is it does get a little bit slick whenever it's wet where your hands are sweaty. So if you wanted to add a sort of hand stop here, like having just the simple hook style hand stop right there would be great for this, especially considering it's sort of a futuristic tactical bolt action rifle, which is kind of silly to say, but you know, I have seen pictures of real steel and airsoft bolt, like tactical bolt action rifles, which actually look quite nice. This I have some interesting ideas for my like Fallout LARP and everything, because I think this would make a quite nice anti-material rifle, which I'll have a picture on the screen right now. But yeah, I think that an extended barrel, at least a little bit, with a sort of night vision scope from the old Nerf line, or maybe just a sort of 3D printed facsimile of such thing, with a nice paint job to look a bit NCR-ish, maybe like a desert tan or whatever, obviously with an orange tip, just for safety. But yeah, with the sort of target shooting style trigger and everything, I think it would look quite nice. Okay, let's get that. Average. Average of 97, max of 101. Yeah, that's about right. There we go. But yeah, I think it's quite nice, to be honest. It is a bit expensive for the set, you know, considering it comes with a bipod and it comes with the target and everything, which could be useful if you're doing a lot of plinking, you know, if you do a lot of sort of game types where you have to shoot a target or whatever, you know, which someone could easily modify the audible target with some sort of magnetic sensor or something, so you could actually have it actually react. But yeah, overall, I think it is fairly worth it if you want to spend the $50 that this set is. Which, you know, 50 bucks is a bit expensive for a blaster, especially considering you can get a Rapid Strike for about that much. It's like a brand new one, like the new sort of Walmart exclusive version of it. Actually, there are two Walmart exclusive versions of it, but the actual Rapid Strike, not the Stratohawk. But if you are sort of into the bolt action sort of rival thing, you know, and if you just want the feel of this sort of target shooting or thing, or if you just like target shooting and you want something to plink around with, yeah, your mileage may vary, you know. Accuracy out of this was pretty good, and the ranges were quite nice. I mean, it shoots about as far as a stock Chronos, so there's always that. But yeah, I'll have links down below. My name is Valor. Thanks for watching.